a good game for children is probably quite different from a good game for families in many respects. I think a good game for children is one that's engaging, one that has a very small barrier to entry, so they don't have to learn lots of different controls and new buttons or different ways of playing. Something that gives a quick return, so very quickly they're getting positive feedback from the game. Stuff particularly that uses characters that they're aware of will always work well. A Ben 10 game will perform far better than exactly the same game but without a branding associated with it. As you start getting older and you start getting into phases that we call the control freak phase as an example, they're going to want to be much more controlling of their environment, nurturing. So that's where games where you can create characters, so games, for example, like Moshi Monsters or Star Doll, or games where you can create an environment or a room or a world, and you can nurture characters, that plays very well, and that's a kind of 6-7-year-old. And then you kind of get to the point of kind of socialization where they turn much more from more independent play to much more social play. And then as you get older, they want much more immersive, much more deeper worlds. So kind of as you start getting 10, 11, 12, then the world of the kind of deeper MMOs and the RPGs start coming in, where they get to trial adult life, if you like, but in a much more safe environment. So that's where RuneScape or World of Warcraft or those type of games start to come in. So the kind of question of what is a good game for a child, it kind of depends on the age of the child, depends on the sex of the child, and depends on all those things. But that's the kind of way that we think about it. When we talk about what makes a good family game, I think number one thing that families do when they play together is realistically they want something that the kids are going to love, because a happy child usually means a happy parent. So games that the kids are going to love are kind of first and foremost. And then it kind of depends on the sex of the parent as well. For example, dads will want a game which has a bit of a competitive element and actually challenges them, allows them to play in some scenarios against their child in a kind of more competitive way. They will want to be much more involved, whereas a mum would be much happier to play a more cooperative game, and also a collaborative game, or even a game that just brings the whole family together, of which they're a part, whereas dads are a bit more of a gamer at heart, if you like. So the games, any game that kind of brings the whole family together and allows them to interact either competitively or cooperatively, kind of depending on the parent who's leading that gaming activity, works well. So something that's kind of challenging for both the age ranges is particularly important as well, particularly when you talk to dads. Dads want to be challenged in their gameplays. Mums are slightly less interested, but they still want to make sure that it's challenging.